everyone. This is Christine. I am here with Lisa at the NAPE Expo, the Bitcoin Mining Pavilion. Really excited to be here with you, Lisa. Lisa is well known in the space as the Mother Teresa of Bitcoin. And so, Lisa, I'd love you to introduce yourself to the audience and tell them what brings you to NAPE today.
Thank you. Thanks. So that's a joke for all of you out there. My former coworker nicknamed me Mother Teresa of Bitcoin because I hate shit coins, but yet I refuse to disparage anyone that owns them. And I think eventually that all goes to zero and people come to Bitcoin. So I'm very welcoming when they do. We cannot be held accountable for those sins that we may have previously committed.
And you've been in this space for quite some time.
No, it's about 5 minutes. As of today, it's like 5 minutes ago.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. No, I got into the space in 2018. I started learning about Bitcoin in kind of 2017, 2018.
Okay.
So it's not been very long at all.
And what was your background before that? You were in the financial industry, correct? Oil and gas?
I was a natural gas trader.
Wow.
So that was the bulk of my career. I've had a couple of careers. They've all been cool and fun. But the one that most closely relates to Bitcoin is the oil and gas space.
So this is not your first NAPE.
This is my first NAPE.
This is your first NAPE.
Yeah, I was telling one of the guys last night that, traders, we didn't go to trade shows. We went to the Final Four. We went to the Kentucky Derby. We went to the Super Bowl. We went to Las Vegas. We didn't go to trade shows when you sit on a trading desk. But this is, extremely fun. And I've seen a ton of people that I knew in a previous world. And of course, there's probably 200 Bitcoiners that are here. It's great. What a good gathering.
It's so fun. We were at a party last night, right, with the energy people, and everyone's like, oh my goodness, family, because you meet up at all the conferences.
I know.
And what got you into Bitcoin originally? Was it the financial aspect of it or the technology?
Yeah, no, because I'm greedy. Truthfully.
Bitcoin go up.
Right? Like, let's all just be honest. We're greedy people. Number go up.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I started looking at technology stocks. I was moving money out of a managed account. Very nice man, older man, managed my account. I was in 26 mutual funds, and I just said to myself, that's not interesting, right? Like, there's so many things going on in the world of, genomics or social media, computer chips, AI. Why am I in REITs and all of these weird, arcane investments? So I just pursued a few technology stocks and then found my way to the MIT Tech Review magazine. They publish a list every year of the top technologies. So I took 8 years of those lists and compiled them to a gigantic Excel spreadsheet. Used absolutely every bit of my Excel knowledge, which is like creating columns and rows and maybe deleting one occasionally, and just started looking for similarities and patterns. Who were the seed round investors? Who was really heavily involved? What sovereigns were involved in the space? And eventually, it's kind of a long story, but eventually found my way to Bitcoin.
Well, and it sounds like you've come a long way because you started with tech stock. Which a lot of people might consider the altcoins kind of techie, but now you've just become so convinced that it's Bitcoin only.
Yeah, I think that's an interesting point. I don't disparage people for owning all of the other coins. I do think that they are, at best, a technology stock, at worst, a scam, and I do believe probably 90% of them, probably maybe higher, are scams. But they have amazing marketing teams, and they have the momentum of social media, which is where they get their power. It takes a while to figure that out, and it takes a while to figure out that the real truth, I won't say signal. A lot of people use that word signal, like, oh, Bitcoin's the signal. Forget the signal, like, it's the truth, right? Like, it's the only thing that's scarce. It's the only coin that has fixed monetary policy, and that fixed monetary policy, as you know, is what gives it value.
That's absolutely what happened. Well, I'm curious your experience also in the space as a woman, because I mean, we see each other at
I know.
meetups, and it's so fun. And there's not a lot of us in this space, but speaking for myself, it's been so fun because I just find the women so interesting, and there's so much room to go around in the space, right? So I don't know if you're like, what your experience of that has been.
Yeah, so I came again as somebody coming from the oil and gas space and the trading space. I mean, when I traded, there were probably 7 out of 150 people on a trading floor were women, and maybe it was double that if you counted the assistants. So it's a very similar ecosystem here within Bitcoin. I hope it changes though, because this, I feel like, uniquely gives people, and not just women, but anyone, it has the power to understand this technology, right? Step one is agreeing that it's knowable.
Yep.
And don't self-select. Women that my friends, I'll just say, that aren't in Bitcoin will come up to me and they'll say, oh, my husband does that. Or, oh, that's just too complicated. Well, the truth is that's actually just really a lazy perspective, right? And how cool would it be if you, the woman in a marriage, would figure out the truth of Bitcoin and lead your family into it, and then your family is able to preserve their wealth or grow their wealth over time, and you're the one that brought the family to it. Like it would be cool. So I hope more women come into Bitcoin. It's not super easy, but it's certainly not. I don't know, Christine. We're not like splitting atoms here. We're talking about something that's scarce.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. I'd love to see more women in the space. And maybe that's a passion of mine, is just to show people how simple it is. It's not rocket science. And once you go down that rabbit hole, as you've experienced, as I've experienced, it's just that there's no going back, right? I mean, it's the most fun group of people that I've met. Everyone's boat's going up when Bitcoin's going up. But again, they're thoughtful people. They're paying attention to what's going on the world. They care about world issues, and I've just had so much fun.
Yeah, it is fun. And I think the real beauty of Bitcoin is that it's welcoming to all.
Yeah.
So it is this opportunity for us sitting here in Texas. It's opportunity for people in Africa. It's opportunity for Europeans. It's opportunity for young, old. I recently read something that, if you're 55 or 60, you may think that you don't have enough time to own Bitcoin. And it's actually probably the best time in your life to own Bitcoin. Just, like if you looked back historically over the last 10 years or so and just simply ran the numbers, it's a beautiful time to discover this. And, really everyone that I talk to, male or female, they've all had careers before coming into Bitcoin, and they'll all say the same thing. I mean, our mutual friend, Bob Burnett, right? So Chief Technology Officer for Gateway Computer, when they took the personal computer to market, he said that was like the coolest moment ever. Then he retired, gets into Bitcoin mining, a few years back. And he's like, okay, I thought that was cool. Like, this is cool. Right? It sort of lights you on fire because you begin to understand it has massive geopolitical implications. That gives you the ability to be a sovereign individual, protect your wealth. It's really just a matter of property rights, which, I think is why so many Texans can align along the side of Bitcoin.
Absolutely.
I was in a friend's office, and they have a family office. He's in the they have exposure in other commodity businesses. Well, I'm trying not to disclose who this person might be, but several other commodity businesses, huge ownership and big ownership in real estate all over the United States. They love to be outside. They love to hunt and fish in the national parks. And I said to him, and I went in there to kind of talk about Bitcoin. And I said, so what's your opinion of Bitcoin? Do you own any yet? And he looked at me and said, well, you tell me, what do you think? And I said, well, I think if you own real estate and you love the national parks and you love to hunt and fish and you understand natural resources, then your values are liberty, freedom, and personal property rights. And if those are your values, you are absolutely aligned with Bitcoin.
Yeah.
And he just looked up and started laughing. It was like, a much older person than I am. Look, it starts laughing his head off, and he's like, yeah, okay, we own Bitcoin already. Right? It's like, yeah, of course you do. I mean, it's a complete value alignment.
Yeah. Yeah. You mentioned an interesting point, a beautiful point, really, that when people come to Bitcoin, they come each with their gift to give, right? I like to tell the story of the fable of stone soup, right? So the guy's hungry and he puts the pot of water and he puts a stone in, and everyone comes and says, well, I have carrots and I have peas and I have potatoes. And so I'm curious how your experience with gas trading, how you bring that to bear then on the space, and what's the offering that you bring to the space at this time based on where you've come from?
Yeah, thank you. So this is a topic that I'm really excited to just like open myself up and put this out here, and I encourage anyone to call me out on social media and tell me that I was wrong. But tell me why. Tell me what you think. Let's figure this out. So, I was trading and I watched the natural gas daily derivative market develop. So the way that natural gas is traded, it's very location specific. So each pipeline has a market. Typically, pipelines have a market. Often there's gathering systems as well, but pipelines have markets. And those markets are priced in a few different ways. You can obviously just strike a fixed price. You can price it at the index, which was a monthly index. So that was it was data collected by a government agency, and they would publish that index once a month. So a producer could sell baseload for 30 days at that one price. Like, I'm going to sell baseload at Henry Hub for $2. That's for the month of February. When I was trading, actually, one of my brokers who lives here in Houston, he comes to the Houston Bitcoin meetups. He developed what is now the gas daily market. And that was a derivative product, location specific.
Wow.
So that as prices fluctuated, let's just say you didn't sell baseload gas, you wanted to sell gas daily. So as a producer, if you put gas into a system on Henry Hub or Texas Gas, let's just say that the weather gets massively cold, right? And there's increased demand, right? The price is likely to rise, right? I mean, that's, as gas traders, you wake up, you don't turn on CNBC, you turn on the Weather Channel. Yeah. So that allowed them to have the optionality of higher prices if they wanted to. It also offered a lot of other opportunity for other players in the space, not just the producers. That derivative product, I believe, will be the model for what is coming in the hash market. So hash is the computing power. There's really, people talk about how Bitcoin is very interesting and they watch the price and all of that. What I think is more interesting than that, and I think it'll be a much larger market, is the hash market and what that really looks like. Who contributes to the hash market? Right now, most miners contribute to a pool, and so they're, call it 6 or 8, 10 large pools. I believe eventually that those pools are the hash within those pools are traded individually, because it's my thesis that a pool that is headquartered in the U.S. has more value than a pool that is headquartered in, Kazakhstan, right? If you have a company that's based in a country without pure property rights, you have jurisdictional risk.
Mm-hmm.
And so therefore, anyway, it's just a different market. It doesn't really matter, jurisdictional risk, but it's a different market. So watching these things develop is really what I'm most interested in the space. I think it'll be hugely beneficial for all of our friends that are in the Bitcoin mining space. Mm-hmm. It'll be beneficial for the people that are getting into the Bitcoin mining space. Gives them more price protection. It gives them opportunity.
Yep.
to really disassociate risk with their models. So that's what it's really got me excited. If anybody out there that hears this has some thoughts, please, hit me up on LinkedIn or Twitter, find me. This is something I'd like to get a group together and let's figure this out. I think it becomes a much bigger exchange traded or certainly as large of an exchange traded market as the underlying price of Bitcoin.
Interesting. Yeah. And it allows companies to hedge as well,
Absolutely.
And that's important for a lot of business models.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and selfishly, I'm going to give a little plug for Levelfield. So I work for Levelfield Financial. We announced yesterday that we're buying a bank and we're going to offer.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thanks. Yep. So we'll have you will have the ability to open a checking account, buy Bitcoin, custody Bitcoin, have a Bitcoin reward credit card, take a loan against your Bitcoin, all within a regulated financial institution, which is a game changer for our industry.
Absolutely. Because especially institutional entities or people with extremely high net worth, there's the concern for like if you leave it on an exchange or a centralized location, there's always the risk. I mean, it's a honeypot, right? The risk of being attacked and you don't hold your keys. Whereas if you take it into possession yourself, that it comes with its own risks. And so it sounds like, and you're still hoping that it flies, but the business model, the idea is to provide a safe place. I think you once told me deep cold storage.
Yeah, so we have a custody solution it's an IBM solution, and it was developed by IBM and the Department of Defense.
Wow.
It is how national secrets are stored. It is how NSA stores data. It's a cryptographic way of protecting data. So I'm sure a lot of people are going to their eyes are going to glaze over. But in Bitcoin, the asset is actually the private key. It is a tangible something. You can touch the key. It is a code. And so the protection of that data can live in our custody solution entirely protected by cryptography. And if those systems were ever breached, I am here to tell you that as a nation, we would be in very deep trouble. I mean, we'd have problems larger than you not having access to your Bitcoin. But anyway, what I've learned is that, and working at another financial services company before coming to Levelfield, is that people don't want to hold their keys.
Yeah, they don't want the responsibility.
Intuitive. I personally don't think it's hard. I think that, again, you've got to admit to yourself that, okay, wait, I can slow down and figure this out.
Right.
It's not as easy as, programming a microwave, but it's not much harder.
Right. But to your point, it's true. And we've been in this space for a while, and so you figure it out. But there's a lot of people that are busy people, and they don't want to take that responsibility.
Right. Well, and I've talked to Bitcoiners. Again, I won't dox them, or but I've talked to Bitcoiners who have been in the space a lot longer than we have, and they have said, my greatest fear is that I somehow am harmed if someone comes after me, or my house burns down, or there's a non-zero probability that with private key ownership that something happens. Right. I mean, you can certainly mitigate almost every risk, but okay, so forget that. I mean, I would say that's sort of an opinion for an individual, whether or not you hold your own keys,
right,
or whether you custody with an institution like Levelfield,
or take a medium approach or a middle way with someone like Unchained, where you have several different key.
Well, still though, at Unchained, I mean, the individual is responsible for 66% of the keys. So,
correct. Yeah.
But what I was going to say is that you're at a corporate level, often you're not able to. What are you going to do? Send your CEO and the CFO each home with a private key and hope that all works out?
Yeah.
And then they're
exactly.
Their 2-year-old throws it in their signing device in the pool, or the housekeeper throws it. I mean, I don't know. It's a non-zero probability that you're secure.
Yeah.
which is why a lot of corporate governance says that they cannot custody assets that way, right? They have to have an institutional partner like Levelfield.
Yep, which prevents some of the mass adoption that we're looking for because of those. That's a great solution. Have you run into any bumps in the road? I know recently Custodia had their application
It's
denied.
unfortunate. Yeah, it's unfortunate they did. No, we haven't actually. We had a meeting with the banking regulators within can't remember if it was 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, but recently, and they gave us the green light to submit the formal application, and that was a very good sign.
Very exciting.
It was a very good sign. And our founders stood up a de novo bank in the 90s. They have gone down this path before. They are bankers. I know sometimes in Bitcoin it's not super popular to admit that you socialize with traditional bankers. They very much,
right? That's what you...
they very much are traditional bankers. They very much appreciate what is happening right now with this digital revolution and with the Bitcoin revolution, and we want to provide a safe, simple, secure solution for clients so that you can come buy Bitcoin, custody Bitcoin, and you don't have to. It doesn't have to be your whole life.
Yep.
Right. Like it's our whole lives. We think about it all the time, but most of the people that are here today at NAPE are going to go home and probably not think about Bitcoin again until they see it on the news in a week or so. Anyway, we want to make it easy for people. I think that's what leads to mass adoption is when we make it easy and we keep it regulated.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. The solutions, I mean, Bitcoin, as we know, can't be regulated, but the on and off ramps definitely can be regulated.
And it's going that way no matter what. And so we want to be on the forefront of, and again, that's part of what the Texas Blockchain Council works on, is being a part of those conversations and the proposing the legislation so that it's, as Lee likes to say, light touch, so that it's good for the industry.
Well, right. And I had a really interesting conversation last night with Steve Kennard at the Texas Blockchain Association. And he was telling me that they're working on some proposals basically to put forth that Texas entities are required to publish proof of reserve. So if you're a bank in Texas and you offer Bitcoin, or if you custody Bitcoin, that you have to have proof of reserves. And I think that's an awesome idea. Right?
Which is so easy to do with the on-chain.
It's very easy to do.
No excuse.
And again, with our custodial solution, you'll have the ability to look at your Bitcoin holdings on-chain. Each customer has an individual account. It's not held in an omnibus account like at other institutions that we will not name right now. So you can look, you can verify. There's my 10 Bitcoin, there's my 2 Bitcoin, there's my 0.1 Bitcoin, whatever it is. You can go on chain and verify that it's there at any time. It's a total game changer.
So great.
Yeah, it's cool.
Well, Lisa, we will be publishing under this video where people can get in touch with you. I know that you're also, is there other places they can see you? I think you're going to be speaking at an upcoming conference.
Yeah.
Shout out for.
Yeah. Let's see. Well, I'm speaking at a Bitcoin conference.
I think you're going to be at Empower.
I'm speaking at Empower in March, Digital Wildcatters right here in Houston.
Yeah.
You have to come back.
Absolutely.
It's amazing.
Wouldn't miss it.
It's amazing. It's a huge party for 2 solid days. I'll be speaking at Empower. I'm speaking at a college in Beaumont, Texas, coming up here shortly. But I'm very excited. They're 2 founders of the Blockchain Association at Lamar University.
Oh, how exciting.
Bitcoiners, super cool young guys. Just got asked yesterday to speak at a conference in Hamburg, Germany this summer.
Wow.
You're actually speaking for me at an event coming up because I had a
I'm excited about that because you're going skiing or something like that with Bitcoiners.
Yeah. No, you can find me on Twitter. I always answer emails. I always answer messages if I can ever be of help, of service to anybody. That's really what I do. It's why I'm in Bitcoin. I love to talk about Bitcoin. If I don't know the answer or if I can't help you with your situation, I will point you to the right person.
Love it.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for all you do in the space
Thank
and
you,
for all the
Christine.
knowledge that you bring
Oh, it's
and
fun.
pioneering the way for women in the space.
Yeah.
And always love talking to you. So thank
Thanks.
you so much for coming out today.
Hey everybody, Ryan Harper. I'm sitting at the NAPE Summit 2023 here in Houston, Texas at the TBC Pubject Power podcast booth. And I just wanted to give a couple of updates about the summit and what we have planned. We just went live with our ticketing and I just sent an email out to, 5,000 plus people to get early bird ticketing. But that's not why I wanted to do a video. One of the things I wanted to convey is what we have planned, what we have aspirations to be, and how we see the summit being moving forward. The last 2 years have been amazing events, and it's been centralized around Texas, centralized around policy, and great efforts in Austin, Texas. Moving forward, we want to have a much bigger footprint. We're going to be in Fort Worth in November 15th and 16th. We're going to be at the convention center. We're going to have a trade show floor. We're going to have speakers that you didn't think that we could get. We have aspirations to get some high quality, high profile people, both in policy, both in political world, and in the Bitcoin blockchain digital asset space. We're going to have workshops, we're going to have startups, we're going to have universities, we're going to have nonprofits, we're going to have opportunities for startups to pitch their products. We're going to have opportunities for nonprofits to kind of showcase what they're doing, their social initiative. Our goal is to include everything that enterprise, blockchain, Bitcoin, digital asset space would want in an event. Bitcoin Miami is amazing. Consensus is amazing. Both of those events have 20,000 plus people, but both those events are probably more of your retail space. Our goal is to make the summit the premier policy, Bitcoin, blockchain, digital asset space for everyone across the country. If you're an enterprise, if you're professional, if you want to do deals, if you want to make real change, the summit is where you need to be. This video was supposed to be 30 seconds. You're welcome. Anyway, we look forward to giving you more updates, and we'll see you at the summit.